everybody. My name is Troy Sanders. I'm here with Gone Is Gone. I'm from Mastodon as well. You're watching Loudwire.
You ever do one of these?
Daily.
I'm doing that right now because I'm with Troy Sanders
Hey,
of
now.
Mastodon and Gone Is Gone. And this is Wikipedia Fact or Fiction. So,
Yes.
I scoured through your Wikipedia page, Mastodon, etc.
Okay.
Pulled out some stuff you can confirm or deny and
All right.
elaborate if you so choose.
All right.
Mr. Troy Jason Sanders.
Jason with a Y.
With a Y. Born in Atlanta, Georgia.
Correct.
That's correct. Okay, they do get that wrong sometimes. It says that your major bass influences include Cliff Burton, Gene Simmons, and Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy.
Yeah. First two influences was when I entered the awkward age of 13, grabbed
Course.
my older brother's bass guitar, left-handed, so
Which
that
was
was
a-
awkward. But I flipped it around and basically closed my door for a couple years and tried to learn every Metallica song
Sure.
and as much Kiss as I could possibly learn. The Kiss was much easier to
Good
pick
place
up.
to start.
It was great, and Gene Simmons scared me, and Cliff Burton wowed me. So
Yeah.
looking back, those two, you know, the first 30 songs that I ever learned with this, and also learning with the ear, would be Cliff Burton and Gene Simmons.
Did you go fingers though instead of pick?
Fingers?
Interesting. Because, you know, Gene Simmons, I don't think he does the
No,
finger.
no, he does not.
No. But that's okay. Said that you first played bass?
Thin Lizzy came into my life much later.
Much later than that, okay.
Much later,
But still a major influence?
No, because I was a late bloomer in the world of Thin Lizzy, and my guitar player Brent Hines is a huge Thin Lizzy fan, and he turned me on as we met in the early '90s.
Okay.
So an influence to a degree, yes, but but not initially.
Gotcha. All right. So, as you said, you picked up your older brother's bass, even though the bass was strung for a lefty. A few months later, you talked your dad into buying yourself a bass.
I did. I was a good kid. I mowed the grass when I was told. I had to do my own laundry, which I'm cool with, and I had to vacuum
all right.
every Saturday before cartoons. So it was a nice balance of strict, you know, parenting and just to know my duties, and also very loose because they embraced us pursuing whatever we kind of naturally would gravitate towards. So they were very encouraging on the music front.
Good.
And I was a good kid, and my dad said, yes, he'll take me to the store, and got myself a Charvel 4-string righty bass.
I always love hearing the first bass that people get. It's
Yeah,
always like
Charvel,
some
pretty sweet.
Charvel.
And a little practice amp, so, you know, a lovely relationship was born.
Awesome. It says Brent Hines lived in his van for 5 years while a member of your band, 4 Hour Fogger.
Yeah, he would live in vans, boat sheds,
Oh boy. goes
abandoned
beyond.
apartments, various
That's great.
box cars at the train station.
I
You
can
know.
picture it.
And when I befriended Brent, he was currently living in Birmingham, Alabama, and he said he wanted to move to Atlanta for a bigger music scene.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you know, this is my address. I wrote it down. And shortly, within days, there's a knock on the door, and he just moved all of his stuff into his van. Perhaps he stole the van, I don't know. And knocked on my door, and we became dear friends and bandmates.
So was he just
So that's
parked
true.
outside of your place like
He
the
parked-
entire time?
He parked in an alley.
He parked in it. That's great. I can still picture him actually doing that to
Living
this
in a
day.
van?
Yeah.
Well, his van is now a bit of a nicer house, but he probably still treats it like a van.
Found a contradiction that I see all the time on Wikipedia. It says that it was either, depending on which page that you believe, it was either 1999 or 2000 that you and Brent met Braun and Bill at a High on Fire show in a friend's basement.
It was January of 2000.
2000, okay.
So the Y2K thing did not happen.
Nope.
So we felt we had a new lease on life and went to a High on Fire show as they were in their beginning stages. Met these two other guys. We knew who they were because they were in a band called Today Is the Day at the time.
Great band.
And we said, hey guys, what are you doing here? You're from the north. And they said, well, we just moved down because we want to start from scratch and we're looking for a second guitar player and a bass player. So Brent and I just raised our hands and said, well, I think we could be your guys, you know.
Yeah.
So we actually formed, and our first band practice was January 13th, 2000.
There you go. Okay, perfect. And being inspired by just the riffage of Matt Pike, it's just beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Brother Mike.
Oh my God, the gnarliest of riff lords. It says that when Mastodon was formed, the band members were all working 40-hour weeks and committed to the band in their spare time.
Yeah, I think that's why
Yeah.
the music was very aggressive and angry because
sure.
we really wanted to make a band happen. So we were working construction. I was framing at a frame shop. The other guys were working in late night restaurants or all day restaurants.
Oh, that's
we all
rough.
had just the day jobs.
Yeah.
So when we would convene for band practice, we were all fueled up, fired up, a bit
Exhausted
angry, and
a
a
bit,
lot of
yeah.
that came through in those first couple records.
Of course, the legendary story that the first time Brent Hines attended practice with Mastodon, he was so wasted that he couldn't play.
Correct.
That is correct. I've always wanted to ask this about that. Obviously, he couldn't play, so you guys sent him home or whatever. What made you bring him back?
We've seen his other. This was the other. I had been in a band with him for 7 years at that moment.
Yeah.
A different band. Those
The
two
other guys
were
didn't really know him.
But they had already seen him around town with his other bands, with his
Okay.
crazy psycho surfabilly music and his country western and his picking.
With the pantyhose on his
They knew
head,
the
yeah.
talent was there. But to come
Okay.
in to form this band, he's like, I got this great idea. We're gonna go like this. So I was like, that's not what we want to do.
You wanted to be
But we
sleek.
know that you've got this vast pool of talent because we've seen it. So it just took 24 hours later to come back, and he's like, check this out.
The Life's Blood EP. Samples at the beginning of We Built This Come Death and Battle at Sea are believed to be taken from recordings of the Nuremberg trials.
True.
That is true.
Yeah,
All
that
right,
was pretty mind-blowing
confirmed.
at the time, and we wanted to incorporate some samples to use as segues, and they were dark and disturbing and real.
All right, Crack the Sky. The album follows a quadriplegic who learns astral projection. On his journey, he flies too close to the sun, burning his umbilical cord, which connects him to his body, and he flies into oblivion. At the same time, in Tsarist Russia, Rasputin and his cult were channeling spirits and brought the quadriplegic to their time. He explains his situation and foretells the assassination of Rasputin. Inevitably, Rasputin is assassinated, and Rasputin guides him back to his body.
It's kind of a boring storyline, I understand.
The Jonah Hex soundtrack.
Yes.
Film director Jimmy Hayward
Yeah.
contacted the band expressing how much listening to Blood Mountain had helped his creative process while finishing a screenplay.
Correct.
That's true.
That is very true.
Very cool. So when he came to you, was he like, I need Mastodon or I need something else?
He came and said that he was writing a script for this movie and listening to Blood Mountain nonstop, and he was very inspired by that, and he invited us to New Orleans to see while some filming was happening. And only one or two of the guys went. They befriended Jimmy, and they said, this guy's great. We should work with him. So he flew us to Los Angeles to put music to screen, which is something Mastodon had never done before.
Yep.
So basically they show some scenes and they say, it's a blank canvas. Try to match a musical emotion to what you're seeing up there. And that was a really cool challenge. We'd never been a part of anything like that. So we appreciate Jimmy Hayward giving us that opportunity, and it really blossomed into a great friendship, and we're still pretty damn close to this very day.
The Hunter does not deal with an entire concept like earlier works, but does have an attachment to the Chinese classical element of wood. Songs like Spectralite and Black Tongue seem to have no meaning related to the theme, but songs like Dry Bone Valley, especially, and Octopus Has No Friends are seemingly cut from a concept album. I'm not quite sure what that means.
I don't understand that at all.
I don't really understand the sentence. I guess that maybe Dry Bone Valley and Octopus Had No Friends were.
Now, what
has
is
no
this?
friends.
Is this someone's thought or opinion?
This is just
their
what's
take
written.
on it?
It's
'Cause
just what's written.
It's written, so it must be true.
So it's true, right? So it's like Dry Bone Valley and Octopus are both from a concept album, and Spectralite and Black Tongue not from a concept album.
Is that signed by the writer?
I don't see
who
it.
Contributed this?
It says Dry Bone Valley, especially.
Man.
No. I don't even know what happened.
You ever order a coffee and they bring you a beer? It's confusing. That's what this is. This
that
is
what
coffee
happens?
and beer.
So
That's statement.
you send back the coffee. to get the beer?
No, I was really wanting a coffee, and they said, no, you're only having a beer. But the door was locked, so you don't have anywhere to go. You're forced. Are you thirsty? Yes. Do you want a beer instead? I suppose so.
But you get
This is coffee and beer, that statement. It doesn't make sense at first, but it's quenching and okay in the end.
All right. Everybody out there, go buy the new Gone is Gone record. Echolocation, it's out now. New Mastodon coming soon. Troy Sanders, everybody.